Hi guys, Dr. Rachel Hippolyte here. I have been missing in action on these videos purely because I've been so ridiculously busy and not been able to get enough hours in the day. But I thought I'd quickly jump on. Den and I are just on our way out to Perth Hills to walk the dog. So I thought I'd quickly jump on now and talk about the brain and talk about what happens when it does work well. Now, as many of you know, I've been doing a lot of neurofeedback training, so where we train the brain out of automatic pathways that aren't benefiting us, that have often been formed over our lifetime from things that have happened to us but aren't particularly relevant in our life now. And those automatic pathways, the brain doesn't actually relate to the moment. And so often we get anxiety, poor focus, brain fog, and these are all signs that the brain isn't working at its optimum. And I just want to share with you, certainly something that's happened with me from training my brain, but the biggest reaction that I get from clients when all of a sudden they get these shifts that show us that their brain is functioning at its best or moving towards functioning at its best. And the biggest one that we get is this absolute clarity of thought, this brain clarity. And I don't think I've had one client that hasn't said that all of a sudden they see things logically rather than with their emotional brain. And when our brain functions well, that allows us to step away from being a victim to our surroundings, a victim to our situation, which many of us have been stuck in for years and years and years. We blame our stress, we blame our relationship, we blame our jobs for what's causing us to be unhappy. But we actually don't have the mental capacity at this point to be able to do anything about it, and therefore we're a victim to our situations. And while we're a victim to our situations, we'll continue to stay stuck, and our brains will continue to struggle. So one of the biggest things that I've got out of brain training and the majority of my clients is this absolute clarity to understand that, or to see what in our life isn't making us happy, but also having the sudden ability to be able to put steps forward, to make changes, to make changes in our life to allow those situations to no longer affect us. Now, this may be, I've had clients who have been stuck in abusive relationships. I've had clients that have been unhappy in their jobs for years and years and years, but have been the victim of that situation and have been unable to make the steps or see the steps purely because their brain isn't functioning at its best to be able to make those changes. And I've had clients that have suddenly had this absolute logical realization and to be able to make the changes to change their life. So from realizing that they don't want to be in a relationship to realizing that they then are able to get a new job to make them happy. So all of a sudden, when their brains function well, they realize that they are actually in control of their lives. They are in control of their happiness. And not only that, they're able to have the mental capacity, the mental clarity to be able to put steps in place to be able to make the changes so that their life then benefits them. So really, once you train your brain and your brain works at its best, you really can change your life by making better decisions, by having choices, by putting things in place to get the life that you want and you deserve. So that is the number one and the most exciting thing that I think that brain training has given me, and pretty much every one of my clients, that recognition that they have the capacity to change their lives, and then they have the ability to then put in step the places to do that. So look, if you're interested, if you want to find any more about neurofeedback brain training, then please just drop me a message below or PM me. Get in touch, and I can explain more in how it will help you. You really can change your brain. You're not stuck with the brain that you've got. You really can change it and optimize it to function at its best. And I hope that makes sense, guys. And I will catch you soon.